Thank you so much for joining us today, the ones who are currently joining us right now and the ones who will be watching us in the future. My name is Justin White. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for Commonwealth University, and I'm thrilled to welcome you all on behalf of Commonwealth University. Today, we're diving into three impactful and dynamic areas of study, which is criminal justice, sociology, and social work program. These programs are all about, making real world change, understanding society's functions, and supporting individuals and communities in meaningful ways. First off, I'd like to introduce Dr. Walker. I'd like to also introduce, Dr. Katie. Like to introduce Dr. Granich and Dr. Ross too as well. They'll be sharing more information about the curriculum, student experience, career opportunities in their respective fields. And we're excited for you to hear from them directly. All right. So please feel free to drop your questions in the chat below, drop your questions in the Q&A. And for those of you that will be joining us in the future, if you have any questions while you're watching this, please do not feel free to contact our admission office as well. We'll always be more than happy to help you. All right. So again, we covered who I am now. We're gonna, dive into the program and kick us off here. All right. So, Dr. Granich, if you want to tell me when to move forward and when to click this thing going, I'll get us I'll get us started here.
Sure. Justin, thank you so much. We really appreciate this opportunity to talk about our dynamic BSW program. We also have an MSW program, and I am going to rely on my colleagues, Dr. Ross and Professor Park, to interject during this presentation. The social work program on the Lock Haven campus is part of the Commonwealth University BSW and MSW programs. Both programs are fully accredited, and we are a very dynamic program. We are accredited by the Council on Social Work Education, and Dr. Ross is the Director of Field Education. Professor Park is a professor here at the Lock Haven campus. The social work program offers many, many different opportunities. We are in many, many different fields. We are in mental health. We are in substance abuse. We are in intellectual disabilities. We work in the prisons. We work with the Veterans Administration. The BSW program is based on competencies. We are a competency-based program, and it is approximately a 4-year program. One will have to have 120 credits in order to graduate from the school. At this point, I would like Dr. Ross to talk a little bit about the field experience, which is very, very dynamic. And I'm going to let Dr. Ross talk about the field experience because she is over all the campuses here at the Commonwealth University BSW program. Thank you so much, Dr. Ross, for being here and talking. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Granick. So one of the beauties of getting your bachelor's degree in social work from an accredited program is that the Council on Social Work Education requires you to have a minimum of 400 hours in an actual agency, being able to provide and having the experience of online or face-to-face direct contact and working with clients. And as Dr. Granick shared, we see placements, I always say, from cradle to grave. You might have a social worker in your life if you have a child that's born in the neonatal unit. You might be helping a family cope with a child being in the neonatal unit, or maybe working with early intervention and helping children with delays. Or you could be that social worker helping someone who is dying, or somebody who is facing end of life issues and working with the family intensely. And so really anywhere in between. You see us in school districts, you can see us in attorneys' offices, prisons, children and youth, Office on Aging, really anywhere you can think of a human service agency, you are likely to see a social worker. We're seeing a real growth in mental health, but also in medical social work. Many medical social work and nursing homes, healthcare, they all require you to have that bachelor's degree in social work. So those are things as you think about what am I going to do with this degree? And many of you want to know, am I going to get a job? And the answer is you will get a job. And if you don't get a job when you graduate right now, it's because you're not looking for one, honestly, because the numbers are exorbitant of people that are looking for social workers to employ. And that's here in a rural community, but also in an urban community. So there are a lot of resources out there as far as job opportunities. And ultimately, you can be able to be licensed at a bachelor level in the state of Pennsylvania. And then obviously, if you want to continue on to get your master's degree, then that's another level of licensure. But again, social work is one of those that you can work with individuals, groups, families, communities, or organizations. And so we say you can do a multi-level of practice, the micro level, the individual, the macro level is families and communities. Or excuse me, the micro or the mid-level is families and communities, and the macro is working with organizations and that larger level of practice. So if you're interested and you have specific questions, please ask at the end or during Q&A. Please feel free to ask about job potentials or opportunities that might be available. And then I walk you through that process to secure that placement for you when you get to your senior year in field. And you do field the very last thing before graduation. Thank you.
Dr. Ross, could you,
Yes.
that is great, talking about our dynamic field education program. Could you share a little bit about financial aid with the BHARP program and the CWEB program? Because I think that some of our potential students might be very interested in that, please.
Yes. And so Dr. Granick's referring to CWEB is actually a grant that the University of Pittsburgh receives every year. They have a number of spots and they have relationships with various schools in the state of Pennsylvania, and Commonwealth University is one of those schools that have a relationship with the University of Pittsburgh. So what does that mean? It means that they can fund you for your senior year, 2 semesters, and then you get paid a stipend to be placed in a children and youth agency. The caveat is you have to give a year back to children and youth in one of the 67 counties in the state of Pennsylvania. But I always say to students, it's great if you want to go into child welfare. If you're not sure you want to go into child welfare, don't just do it for the money because child welfare work is really tough. There's another opportunity that is available to our students, and it is available to those students that live in rural counties. There are actually I think 12 rural counties that BHARP, which is the Behavioral Health Agency, and they oversee students who in their senior year who are doing a field placement in an agency that they partner with. And most of those agencies are children and youth, mental health, probably most of the county agencies. And what then happens is once you graduate, then they will pay you to be in your field placement your senior year. They'll pay that senior up to $20,000 is really what they'll pay. But in return, you have to give 2 years back to that agency. So when you graduate, if you've been in, I'm going to say Clinton County children and youth, for example. So if you've done your internship there, you've agreed to be part of this BHARP program. When you graduate, you are an employee of the agency. So you have all your health benefits, all of your financial benefits, you're a paid employee, but you have to give them 2 years, a 2-year commitment to stay in that job. After that 2 years, obviously, then you're free to go. Same with the CWEB program. You have to give a year back post-graduation from the BSW program.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ross. Professor Park, would you talk to us? You are a professor here on the Lock Haven campus. Could you tell us a little bit about the coursework that the students go through in the BSW program, please?
Yeah, so thank you. I'm glad to be here. And to describe the coursework, we have, again, 120 credits required to graduate. And there is a section of that coursework that is general education courses that all students take, regardless of major. And you have some choices within that. But then we have another part of those 120 credits that is the core curriculum for the social work major. So we have some foundational courses, introduction to social work, diversity and social justice, pre-practice social work experience. And then once you take those courses, then you can progress on beyond that. So we have human behavior and the social environment courses, a couple of levels there. Yep, we have here on the screen some of our electives as well: addictions, case management, child welfare. And we also then have practice courses. So there's practice with individuals and families, practice with groups, and then practice with communities and organizations, in addition to social work policy practice. So you get a really well-rounded experience learning a generalist, what a generalist social worker does in all types of areas. You have those foundational skills, and you can go then to your field placement in your last semester and put those skills into practice.
Thank you so much, Professor Park and Dr. Ross. And another aspect that I think you'll find when Dr. Eli and Dr. Walker talk is that we have a lot of collaboration in the department. We may have dual majors. We have minors in various subjects. So there's a real collaboration here on the Lock Haven campus at the Commonwealth University. We invite your questions today. We invite visits. We have very dynamic admissions office, and we're very appreciative of you listening today. Thank you so much, Justin, for allowing us to talk.
Of course, of course. And now, we're going to backtrack here a little bit, talk about our criminal justice program here at Commonwealth University as well. And if, any of you want to touch in on the criminal justice piece, that'd be great.
Yeah, so, and it's funny because that's a picture of me from 2016 or 2017 on that slide. So I'm Dr. Eli. I've been teaching criminal justice at Commonwealth University, Lock Haven since 2011. And so I'm here to represent the criminal justice faculty at the Lock Haven campus. One of the things that I usually talk about, like at open houses, is kind of what distinguishes our program from other criminal justice programs. And really, what it comes down to will be the faculty, the courses that we have, the experiences for the students, and then our fantastic alumni network that we have. So in terms of our degree, we have a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice. We have a Bachelor of Science degree with a track in conservation law enforcement for individuals that want to work as game wardens or Fish and Boat Commission. We also have an associate's degree, and we have a minor in criminal justice. And as the social work faculty had talked about, and you'll hear Dr. Walker with sociology, the really great thing about our criminal justice degree, if you pursue the bachelor's degree, is it is super flexible. You are able to double major, have minors. The way it's structured is really wonderful. So there are some required courses, which are pretty much the same required courses you would have in any criminal justice program. But what distinguishes us would be the elective courses that we offer, taught by all of our fantastic faculty that we have at the Lock Haven campus, as well as the Bloomsburg and Mansfield campus as well. So there are 5 of us on the Lock Haven campus. We each have different areas of expertise. We have all developed classes specific to our, research, our, for some of the faculty, their professional experience, and then also just current topics that are important in criminal justice. So one of the examples that I'd like to give, because it relates to something that I had created and is on this slide here, is we have a class in Women in Crime. And this was a class that I had developed back in 2013, I think. And part of it came from that I was teaching all of these other courses within the program, and we didn't have a lot of time to focus on issues relating to women. And what that class has turned into over the years is I have a bunch of alumni come back and speak to the students. And it's to the point now where I have students that took the class in the past that now come back and speak as guest speakers about their experiences at Lock Haven, as well as their experiences once they graduated. And we have, even in all of our other classes, the other faculty bring a lot of alumni back. I think that's one of the best highlights of our program, is that we have a wonderful alumni network. They are very willing to come back, talk to the students, in some cases hire some of our students. We've had a couple instances of that, as well as serve as, support for our current students as they're moving through their careers. The other thing, is that is really important for our program, is that we have an agreement with the Act 120 Municipal Police Academy at Mansfield. And while there are some universities that have, that type of program, we offer a number of credits towards your bachelor's degree in criminal justice if you pursue that while you are a student. And it works out really well, because you could actually, if you're very strategic about your coursework, you could, with summer classes, winter classes, you could have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. You could even double major in sociology or social work and end up with the Act 120 Municipal Police Academy certification, and then graduate and go right into getting, a policing career. But the other thing is that in terms of, careers, our students pursue things beyond the traditional police, courts, and corrections. I think we actually see more students moving the route of some of the careers that social work students go into, which is why a lot of our students, double major with sociology or social work, or have minors in either of those, because there's a lot of overlap in those careers. So I often talk to students who are interested in criminal justice, but they say, I don't want to be a police officer, or I don't want to work in a prison, or I don't want to be a lawyer. There is still a lot you can do with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, especially if you pair it with some of the other programs at the university. So that's my overview for criminal justice.
Thank you. And now we're going to transition into talking about sociology program here at Commonwealth University too as well.
Hi, I'm Greg Walker. I'm the sociologist here. Actually, we have two sociologists here. We're kind of broad. We dabble in just about everything. And when you think of sociology, you have to think of Commonwealth University. In other words, not just the Lock Haven campus, but also Bloomsburg and Mansfield. We have two sociologists here, 3 at Bloomsburg and 1 at Mansfield. I say this because if you take a low-level introductory type course, you will have a face-to-face course here at Lock Haven. If you take higher level courses, chances are good you can tap into the human resources we have at Bloomsburg or Mansfield and take a course online, or take a course with me face-to-face, and Bloomsburg and Mansfield students will appear on the screen. We have pretty sophisticated technology for that. And therefore, you can get expertise from all over the state. Our discipline is broad. We do not train toward a specific occupational goal. Many of our students go on to police work. They go on to get MSWs. They go on to law schools. They can work directly in children and youth. Sometimes they go on to become, I think I said they go on to become police officers. But they, since I'm an industrial sociologist, oftentimes they go on into private industry. For instance, they become business owners, they become realtors, they work in insurance companies, they work in production management. So we have a really broad If you take a look at some of those classes, for example, you'll learn that you could dabble a little bit about religion, about gender, about the economics and firearms and all these things. All of these things go nicely with other disciplines. This is one of the reasons why when we designed our curriculum, we only require 30 credits. That's 10 classes, which means that this sociology degree can be nestled in with other bachelor level degrees. We have double majors in psychology, we have double majors in social work, we have double majors in criminal justice. We have had in the recent past double majors in business and double majors in health science. Since we're broad, we inform things like health science. We inform things like business. We have a course, for instance, called People in Production, which is about working in factories and so forth. So yes, we designed this to be very, very flexible. Plus, we are pretty liberal when it comes to people who have invested a lot of coursework into other disciplines and decided to make changes. Well, you can petition and have courses related to sociology count as sociology. For example, if you study history and you have under your belt history of women in society or history of the Middle East, and you wanted a son to become a sociology major, we can make those count. We can make oftentimes some business courses count, some psychology courses count. So we can help you if you were indecisive in the beginning of your academic career. We can help you get out of here. It's kind of an escape hatch. So that's about the sociology major. The courses are normally pretty big at the lower level, at the gen ed level. We do teach gen ed courses, but the courses become pretty small. And I learn, and as do my other sociology faculty, we learn your names and we learn who you are, and we write big letters of recommendation. Every one of our graduates is fully employed and gainfully employed post-graduation. So we're very proud of them, and we're very proud of the work that we do here.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. Now we're going to transition into a different part of our slideshow here, which is high-packed experiences. And I know each of you had touched on several high-packed experiences within criminal justice, sociology, and social work. If we can kind of reel that back here for a little bit and talk about, some of the internships, the specific field experiences, and different clubs and organizations that your students have been a part of too as well. And we'll kind of get started here with the Municipal Police Academy pathway at Commonwealth University.
Yeah, so I briefly mentioned this earlier, and this is something that, for students who want to work in municipal, so local policing agencies, in the state of Pennsylvania, you need the Act 120 certification. So in the past, we had students that, finished our degree and then they went to the academy, which then of course took time from them being able to find employment. And of course, at this point, there are no shortage of policing jobs. I think every policing agency within, however many miles of anywhere in Pennsylvania is hiring. But a lot of the time for policing, they want you to have that certification. There are some agencies that will pay for it, but I think that's less likely. They generally want you to have that certification. So we, as criminal justice faculty, had decided that students could get credits towards their degree for attending the academy. Those credits there's one of the required courses that you get credit for, and then the rest are elective courses. And students will generally do this, in the year before they're a senior. The academy at Mansfield runs from May to November, December-ish. So if you're looking at in terms of at the end of your junior year, then of course you have to apply to the academy, you have to be accepted. There are physical fitness standards and there's other background parts. So it's not guaranteed that you're accepted. But if this is something that you want to work towards, this is a benefit of our program. And I've even talked with some students for the possibility of them doing an internship as well as the Act 120 Academy, which means you're really maximizing your academic credits and getting experience and, being able to, have this additional certification. I've even talked to some current students who really aren't too sure about police work, but they want to pursue this academy just so that they have that. For example, I have a student who wants to get into the FBI, but she realizes she's probably going to have to work as a municipal police officer for a couple of years. So she plans to do the Act 120 certification. So even if you're looking at, some federal law enforcement experience, this still might be a good, tool to have. I do want to mention this is not the same as the Pennsylvania State Police Academy. So we have discussed the possibility of offering academic credit for individuals who have completed the Pennsylvania State Police Academy, but that's a different process, and it doesn't kind of fit into the degree as well as this does. So if you're interested in the Pennsylvania State Police, you have to go to their academy. You would not be going through the Act 120 Academy. But this is a fantastic opportunity for students. You do have to, pay for the academy, but I believe at Mansfield, they generally have had scholarships available, and it's, again, you're able to apply that experience to academic credit towards the degree.
Thank you. And can we also here, since we have you all here too as well, transition to powerful combinations of, majors and minors. And that's one of the main things that, when we're talking in college fairs with students and, going through the admissions process, and they, always ask, are there specific majors and minors that stack and match between all of our wonderful courses here at Commonwealth University?
Yeah, I think the slide pretty much indicates the combinations. We have social work majors that are minoring in psychology. We have social work majors minoring in criminal justice. We have social work majors minoring in sociology. Dr. Ross and Professor Park, could you interject, your perspective on this, please?
I know for me, I see a lot of social work and criminal justice majors and even sociology. And I see a lot of students who want to do social work but want to do the criminal justice. And so a lot of times, excuse me, some of those students might be working like in a probation office, or I think Dr. Eli even said, in children and youth. There's a lot of different combinations of employers, of agencies, where you can have, any of our three majors intertwined within each other, because although we're uniquely different, we do have some commonalities. So again, I think that, having that double major or that major and that minor really opens other doors for you that you might not necessarily think about in a traditional way of what would I do with this degree.
I agree. And another thing I'll share is that I've seen some students also express interest in working with individuals with disabilities. So they will major in social work and minor in special education, for example, or people who are more interested in working in government agencies or in political work, or in the legal system might do a minor in political science or sociology. So there's lots of different combinations that work really well. And so I think that any of the ones that are on the screen could really pair up.
Thank you. And then now, for our final piece here, before we get into the Q&A, we're going to go around and touch on the career options too as well that fall under each program here at Commonwealth University too.
So this is, it probably, if we had a slide that accurately listed every single career option for students in criminal justice, I don't think it would all fit on one slide. And I think a lot of what you're going to see on the slides for sociology and social work are similar to where criminal justice students go. All three of our programs have talked about like children and youth services, and all three of our programs have had students who have been employed or have done internships with children and youth services. So even though what's on this slide here for criminal justice or some of the traditional criminal justice careers, we definitely have seen more students kind of move to more sociology, social work, psychology type careers. And I mean, the big thing is, and we tell our students this because we have students come in and they're like, "Are you going to teach us how to shoot a gun or how to arrest somebody?" And of course, we don't do that. You get that type of training on the job, you know. So if you're going to be a police officer, you go to the police academy, you learn those things. We give you in our degree the basic information, you know, regarding the criminal justice system, regarding other areas, how to write effectively, how to speak publicly, work with people of different backgrounds, uh, and that really allows you to do any career that requires a bachelor's degree. Honestly, you know, a lot of careers like for probation, for example, you have to have a bachelor's degree for that. For some jobs like local corrections officers, sometimes you don't even need a college degree for that, but they generally want someone to. And you know, the state police unfortunately had recently dropped their requirement for college credit. However, they now are trying to get individuals to go back and get degrees because that is how you advance. That's one of the ways you can advance in terms of being promoted. So I would also kind of say, I mean, we've also had students that have come in wanting the associate's degree because it was 60 credits for the state police. And I would tell students, well, what happens if you don't get into the state police? What if you get injured when you're at the academy or while you're preparing to go to the academy? There aren't too many job options you can get with the associate's degree. And so we generally try to get students to, you know, pursue the bachelor's degree because then that opens up so many job opportunities, as opposed to the associate's degree, which can help you, but is limited in terms of what you can do. So, I mean, if I think about our alumni network, I mean, we have alumni in every single area. I mean, we have students that have ended up working in for more like business related things, of course, traditional criminal justice, but I mean, really, our bachelor's degree is going to prepare you for any career that requires a bachelor's degree.
Thank you. Then we're going to transition to social work program.
We've touched on this before, Justin, but you can see the vast variety of careers. And as Dr. Eli is saying, they do dovetail the three disciplines. The thing to understand about our BSW program is that many of our graduates go on for an MSW, which gives them more skills and more opportunities. So I'm going to let Dr. Ross and Professor Park share. They have a vast amount of experience, including myself, in some of the career opportunities that our students have had after they've graduated. Dr. Ross, would you like to share your perspective on this, please?
Sure. As far as positions that our alumni are in, as Dr. Granick said, you know, we're very fortunate that we have students literally all over the state of Pennsylvania and outside of Pennsylvania, but it's very, or alumni, excuse me, outside of not only central Pennsylvania, but outside of the state of Pennsylvania. And I see them in very different agencies. You know, we have students that obviously are at Office on Aging, at Children and Youth, at school districts. I also see social workers that we actually have one of our alumni that is at the Capitol building working with Josh Shapiro down in Harrisburg. We have other alumni that also work in Harrisburg in different capacities. We have students that work for the federal government. We have students that work for blindness and visual service. I know Dr. Park mentioned about the disability. And so we see students working in a variety of different agencies across the Commonwealth. We see a lot of our students in leadership roles. We see students that are alumni now that are actually running agencies. We have students that have gone to get their master's degree and now they're working as alumni, our alumni working in veteran centers. And that's one of the areas a lot of students are interested in working with veterans, but that is a area of expertise that you need your master's degree to work in. So again, hospitals, we see a lot of our students, our alumni as medical social workers working in foster care agencies, really across the continuum. One of our alumni is actually a senior social worker at Muncie Women's Prison, and she works in the drug and alcohol unit. She's a supervisor there. So really, just about anywhere you can think you might see a social worker, we probably have an alumni that is there working.
Professor,
Dr. Park, do you have anything to add?
go
Sure.
ahead.
Yeah, I'll just add that so I am an example of someone who has paired all of our majors that we're talking about. So I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a minor in sociology, and then a master's degree in social work. So I kind of took the path of working in the correction system and then kind of furthering my education. So we do see a lot of opportunity there, and that's my expertise. And then also in working in colleges and universities and student support roles, that's definitely something that you could do, and that I've done as well. So yeah, lots of opportunity, and again, there's so many broad ways that you can move with any of our majors.
Okay. Professor Park and Dr. Ross, thank you. Justin, we appreciate the opportunity to talk about our careers.
Yep, of course. I didn't know if Dr. Walker, if you wanted to give a brief highlight overview of sociology, since we've gone through criminal
Yeah,
justice.
I would like to address it in this manner. It's not just the credential that a student should be going for. They should be going for the skill. When you get a bachelor's level, and it's not just our department, although our department is a good place to do this, you learn how to see things from another person's point of view. When you can do that, you can anticipate other people's behavior. And when you can anticipate other people's behavior, you can shape your own behavior in such a way where you can get along with people. So you get promoted better. You're a better coworker. You're more likely to vote. You're more likely to be a good citizen. You're more likely to get married and stay married. You're more likely to create a better community and have cleaner streets. It's important for you to just be. This is part of, if you come in here as an 18-year-old, plan to become a bigger person. We try to pack 20 years of lived experience into 4 so that you come out of here wise and grateful and humble and ready to learn until the day you die. That's really important, especially for a society like ours. You're an American. This is your society. You're not living under a king. You own this place. And you have to take care of it. You have to be a good steward of the entire society. So yeah, all of these will make you a living, right? A human resources manager, or a labor market analyst, or a police officer. But it also make you a good life. I can attest to that.
Thank you, sir. And now we transition to the Q&A portion of this. And I know we've thrown a lot of information at you here. So please, if you have any questions to our students who are watching right now, please feel free to drop some questions in the chat, and we'd be more than happy to assist in any way possible. And if there's students and families again that'll be watching this in the future, for our on-demand students that are watching this in the future here, please feel free to contact our admissions department. We'd be more than happy with setting up a visit for you to come to campus. We'll have a tour guide. who actually majors in criminal. We have a tour guide who actually majors in criminal justice, social work, and sociology too as well. That would love to take you out on tours and give you their one-on-one personal experience on how they're currently doing in the classroom and gaining professional experience as well. So we'll give a couple more moments here to, if there's any questions students are typing up in the chat, to type them up, and then we'll wrap up from here. All right, Jacob, you're good. Jamie, you're good. Well, please, for the viewers that are watching here right now, please give a virtual round of applause for our faculty members that took time out of their evening to join us here today um, to talk about the program, a fantastic program at Commonwealth University. So I just want to give a thank you to Dr. Walker, thank you to Dr. Katie, thank you to Dr. Greenwich, thank you to Dr. Parks, and thank you to Dr. Ross for taking your time to chat with us here today. Thank you. All right, and you all have a great night and enjoy the rest of the day. See ya.
Thank you very much, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.